Good morning. It's almost afternoon, but good morning, everybody. I haven't done a live in a little while, and you'll have to bear with me. I'm just coming out of a cold, so my voice is a little bit raspy. But if you're joining me, say hi. I have some things to talk about what's been going on the last little bit. Maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't, but I have taken a little bit of a step back from my page over the last month. And there's kind of been a lot going on in my head when it comes to this space and mental health, and moving forward and healing and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to take like a few minutes this morning to kind of go over and talk about what's been going on and fill you guys in, and please engage in the comments and let's chat a little bit. So I guess I'll just kind of start by saying for a big portion of my life, and I think some people, especially women, can relate, I've been lost in this limbo of life. And when I've approached forks in the road, I've always had a really tough time trying to figure out which direction is the right direction to take. It's not that I'm afraid of taking risk, but I am afraid of making the wrong decision. I've never had great self-esteem. I've never really believed in myself or my talents. So I've never really pushed myself outside of the box of what I thought people expected me to be. So I've kind of always felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do in life. And then I became a mom of 2 kids, 17 months apart, and I walked away from my career, and I felt even more lost. And then postpartum depression came knocking on my door. And when I started this blog almost 3 years ago, I started it as a way to keep family and friends kind of up to speed on the difficult pregnancy that we had at the time. And what started as a page of 130 people, which were mostly friends and family, has kind of blossomed over the last few years and now is over 10,000, which I never expected it or dreamed for it to grow that big. And it's kind of pushed me into putting this pressure on myself. And I've started comparing myself a lot to others in this world. It hasn't been the best thing for my mental health because I'm already struggling with it. So about a month ago, we had a real estate agent over because my husband and I are thinking about selling our house, and we were talking about what I do for a living and all that stuff. And my real estate agent was like, who puts all of this pressure on you? Like, who is putting all of this pressure on you to hustle during nap time and bedtime and to work while raising your babies when you're stretched so thin? And like, who's putting all this pressure on you to have the perfect house and have dinner on the table every night? And the answer is me. I am the one putting all of this pressure on myself. I am the one that is placing all of these ridiculous expectations on myself. And because I do work in the world of social media, it's really hard not to compare yourself to other people who work in the same industry that you do and see greater success than you do, even though it wasn't always something that I was aiming or achieving to do. And also when you have such a low self-esteem, which is something I really need to work on, it's really hard not to see all of the photos and like the highlights from people's life, because most of my work is online, and not compare myself to what they have and feel like I'm not doing a good enough job. So over the last few years, kind of working in this world and raising my babies and dealing with postpartum depression and illness and all kinds of other stuff, that whole limbo of life has become harder for me. And I've really lost sight of what I've wanted to do with my life and kind of who I want to be, and not even who I want to be, who I am. I've lost sight of who I am. So I started therapy, and a whole big epiphany that I have had over the last little bit is that I have been turning to my page, which I absolutely love, and I'm so grateful to have this platform. But I've been turning to this page to, validate my feelings, which has been a little bit dangerous for me, because instead of healing myself and coping and accepting the things that are going on in my life that aren't always easy, I have been turning here to share that with you, which I love. And I love hearing the people that can relate. It makes me feel like I'm not alone. But sorry, my dog is scratching. But I haven't been healing myself. So here I am coming to you and telling you everything that I'm struggling with. And you are telling me that it's okay, that you feel it too. But I'm not healing myself in the process. So that's something that I really need to work on. So that's kind of what's been going on. And I've been struggling with figuring out, how do I maintain my blog, something that I love so much. And I appreciate all of you, but also take care of myself. So I'm kind of in this limbo of trying to figure out what to do. And today I was at the mall, and this is kind of why I'm hopping on here. I was at the mall about 30 minutes away from where I live, and I was approached by somebody, and she was like, "Do you have a blog?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, yes, I do." And she said that I have, and I'm getting a little bit emotional, that I have changed her life and really touched her. And she thanked me for what I've been doing. And it just meant so much to me, because so many of you have touched me in so many brilliant ways. But I've been feeling a lot of guilt that I haven't had the time or the energy to come on here and respond to all of you and engage with all of you the way that I want to, because I truly do appreciate you being here. And I truly appreciate you all sharing your stories with me. So I guess, like, summing this up, why I wanted to come on here is I want you to know, and I've been recognized a few times when I've been out, and as much as that is fantastic, I just want you guys to know that, like, I am completely human. This whole blogging world, it's not all that glamorous. I am so flattered that anyone even cares to hear the things that I have to say. And I think part of it is that mental health and, raising young kids and all of that stuff, it's so hard and it's so relatable. But as a blogger, as someone who has kind of put a face to those things, I struggle too. And sometimes we need to step back and, focus on the physical relationships in our life and take a step away from social media, which, as wonderful as it is, can be toxic sometimes and make things harder. And just, really work on validating our feelings for ourselves rather than having other people validate those feelings for us. With all of that being said, I am not going anywhere. I am not stepping away from this platform. When I saw and spoke to that girl today, I told her kind of all of this, and she's like, "You can't stop doing what you're doing. Like, we need you." And then I happened to get a message from a big organization that wants to have a meeting with me today to talk about making changes in maternal mental health in Canada. And I feel like that's just such a big sign that these two things happened today that I can't give up and I can't walk away and I can't stop fighting for all of this and for change, and to make resources available to all of us that have struggled with mental health and mothers that are having a hard time and do feel lonely. But even with a platform of 10,000, I still feel lonely sometimes too. So I just wanted to come on here and be as real as I could be about what this world is and how it's so wonderful, but how it also, comes with a darker side. And I'm just now learning how, to navigate all of that without it changing the way that I'm able to, run this page and all that stuff. So I hope I didn't ramble on too much. I hope this wasn't too Debbie Downy. I really came on here in hopes to let you know where I've been and just, be positive about moving forward and what this page will bring. And I want to focus on a lot of good stuff moving forward. I'm still going to focus on the hard, but I'm not going to let it define who I am anymore, because I am more than postpartum depression. And sorry, my pup's here. He wants to say hi, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. And I just want to thank you guys all for, being around and engaging, and I'm going to try to work more time into my day to be here for you guys, but I also got to take off the pressure, and I want you guys to take the pressure off of you too. Hey, Maxwell. Yeah, so don't put so much pressure on yourselves or you'll break, and I don't want you to break like I did. My love to you all. I'm so grateful and so appreciative. And I hope you have a fabulous week. And I'll write some funny stuff too, because my kids are still giving me content. There's a sailboat in my toilet right now, and I clogged the other toilet, so we're down to like one toilet. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Bye.